Hello, David here, and this is my first ride of the stunning Trek Domane SLR with the latest SRAM goodies, group set and wheels. Now, a few weeks ago, I gave you a detailed first look at this bike, and if you missed it, it's linked above now, so you can go and watch it. So since then, I've done quite a few miles on this bike, done quite a few rides, and I'm going to share my experience of this bike and how it performs, and tell you what I love and what I don't love about this bike. So we go through the frame, the group set and the wheels in case you want to skip forward, or you can just sit back and enjoy the entire video. Right, let's dive in.
The Domane SLR is clearly a comfy bike. It's like riding on roads made from marshmallows. I kid you not, it really is that smooth. The ISO-speed decoupler front and rear and wide low pressure tyres really soak up most of the road surface imperfections extremely well, helping to make it a very settled and relaxing ride. A defining feature of the Domane has always been the ISO-speed decoupler. I've always been impressed with it ever since I rode the first generation bike over the Paris-Roubaix cobbles many years ago, and this third generation version is better than ever. It's easily adjustable for a smoother or firmer ride depending on how you like it and how rough or smooth your roads are, and in the softest setting provides a noticeable amount of saddle movement. It's well balanced too, front to rear. However, the front end isn't quite as successful as the specialised Future Shock on the Roubaix. All that said though, it is great for long rides. As an example, last weekend to mark the summer solstice, myself and a few friends did a 220km all-night ride, setting off from sunset and riding right through the night to sunrise. And while staying awake is hard, but apart from being tired, my body wasn't aching, I had no pains or discomfort anywhere. The bike really looked after me on this long ride. And I reckon with a good breakfast and an hour's sleep, I could have carried on all day with no problems at all. Like most endurance bikes, the handling of the Domane SLR is nice and relaxed and really looks after you on these long rides. But if you want to go fast, it's huge fun, especially in the corners and especially on the descent. Talking of speed, this is a fast bike, both in my experience and in the wind tunnel according to Trek's claims. Now their claim and not mine, a 12 watt saving at 40 km per hour compared to the previous Domane SLR, thanks to lessons learned from the Madone aero bike. Now that's quite impressive, but at my much lower speeds, it's still a very fast bike and it feels much faster than most other endurance bikes I have ridden to date. Something I really like is the down tube storage. It's a super neat idea and I wish more bike brands would embrace it. It means no ugly bags hanging from your saddle. Using the supplied Bontrager tool wrap, there's no rattling from your tools or in tubes when you're riding over rough roads, but it's not quite as practical as I thought it might be. There's not much space for food. I lost a bag of jelly babies down there the other day, but don't worry, none were harmed. I managed to save them all. So no good for food, but waterproof jackets go in there just fine. Something like a Gore Shake Dry fits in there just fine. So best keep your food in your pockets and use the down tube storage for tools and a waterproof jacket. One great thing on this new Trek Domane, which I didn't mention in my first look, is that the company has now ditched its BB90 press fit bottom bracket for a T47. This is an oversized threaded design that should prevent maintenance and creaking issues. And so far, in my experience, after a few weeks riding, I've had no issues at all, no noise from the bike at all. One thing I don't really like is the cable routing. The way the cables go over the stem and into the top tube isn't the prettiest. It's like that due to the bendy ISO-speed stereo tube of course, and in use it doesn't affect steering, doesn't make any noise, just not that pretty. So first impressions are really good. The Domane SLR is a great long distance mile munching endurance bike. It's got a super stable and calm demeanour and soaks up rough roads extremely well. And when you want to get a hustle on, it's willing with a good turn of speed and great cornering ability. It may be a bit on the heavy side for big mountains at 8.5 kilograms, but luckily it's got the right gearing to help you out on the steep gradients.
Which brings me neatly on to the main reason for having this bike in the first place, the group set and SRAM's latest and very glossy Force eTap AXS Wide group set. The main benefit of this group set are the lower gears and wider range, as the name implies, and I've been loving the gear range on my local hills here in the Cotswolds. Now, if you don't know the Cotswolds, well, it's quite hilly in places. Not the biggest climbs, but quite steep in some places. And I've been loving the low gears, helping me to spin up the climbs rather than grind up the climbs on some group sets. So definite thumbs up from me. If you like climbing, you like getting as much altitude, elevation gain as you can, and you want gears that allow you to spin rather than grind. So we have a 43/30 tooth chain set up front and a 10/36 tooth 12-speed cassette on the back. And that gives a total range of 517%, which is wider than any other 2x group set you can currently buy. For context, a compact 50/34 chain set and a typical 11/30 cassette on the back gives you a range of 400%. Another benefit of this 12-speed group set is you get smaller increments, with the first 4 sprockets down here at the small end giving you 1 tooth jumps between each sprocket, which a conventional group set doesn't give you. And that means you can maintain the optimum cadence when you're really going for it, bashing along the roads at top speed. Talking of top speed, there has been some concern that this group set with its very small chain set will limit you at top speed and prevent you from reaching those higher speeds you might enjoy riding at. Well, fear not. In the top gear, a 43/10, I can hit 30 miles per hour at 90 RPM. That's just 2 miles per hour slower than a 50/11 at the same cadence. I don't know about you, but I spend way more time grinding up steep climbs, cursing my gears for not being low enough, than I do spinning out at top speed. Now, if you're like me, then you'll definitely enjoy this group set. But if you prefer bigger gears for faster sprints or just going flat out everywhere, then SRAM's regular Force group set with a 10/28 might be better for you, or a more conventional setup. In use, the group set has been refined, quiet and easy to use. The gear changes are very quick, the brakes are very powerful, and on this bike have been quiet in the wet and the dry. One feature I really liked and quickly warmed to are the blips, optional remote shifter buttons on the tops of the handlebars, which are great when you're climbing up steep climbs, so you can change gear without moving your hands to the hoods. I like them so much that when I go back to a normal bike without them, I find my thumbs reaching for them and then being disappointed when I find no buttons to change gear. So that's something I really liked, and that is a big benefit of SRAM's wireless group set. You can add optional remote shifters wherever you like them. The app integration is really neat too. You can easily check the battery life on the 2 batteries here, which you can't do on other group sets. You can customize the buttons as well and how they work. You can also make sure you've got the latest firmware and see how many miles you've ridden on your bike. And in that way, it's a very modern feeling group set. Another point to cover is the efficiency of the small sprockets, particularly that 10/2 sprocket. And there are a lot of concerns on forums on cycling websites around the world that the smaller sprocket won't be as efficient as the bigger sprocket, which is the case generally. But in normal riding, in my experience, I haven't detected any loss of efficiency when using that small sprocket. And to be honest with you, the number of times I've used that 10/2 sprocket is, well, I can count it on one hand, to be honest. So yeah, it's not an issue really. A nice benefit of the group set with that 10/2 sprocket is you spend more time in the bigger ring, so less shifting at the front. And when you do shift at the front, because there's only a 13-tooth jump between the big and little ring, the gear changes are nice and quick. So that's a group set. I'm very impressed so far, but I'll continue riding it to see how it does on the longer term. Now let's move on to the new wheels. There's definitely a lot riding on the wheels for the US company. It's an all new design, hookless, tubeless only, with a maximum pressure of 73 psi and a £985 here in UK price, which sees them lining up against some very stiff, very mature competition in this £1,000 carbon wheel market. So they need to be good, and good they definitely are. Now, I did a deep dive on these wheels a little while ago. We took the tyres off, we talked about the hookless B technology, and we installed these Schwalbe Pro ones, which turned out to be quite easy. And if you missed that video, it's linked up above, so you can go check it out. But since then, I've been really impressed with the ride quality and the performance of these new wheels. So they look good. I personally love the new modern decals, and they're quite understated as a whole. You've got external nipples, you've got easy tubeless installation, you've got smooth running hubs, a quick engaging free hub. They're light as well compared to competition and that low price point. So there's a lot of boxes ticked with the new wheels. With these 28mm wide tyres inflated to about 55 to 60 psi for my body weight, The ride quality is just superb. Really smooth, really supple, and it helps to smooth out my roughest roads here in the Cotswolds really well. Now, I'm no stranger to wide tyres and low pressures. I've been embracing this trend for many years now. I've written about it for previous websites, and many of you have indeed embraced the benefits of wide tyres at low pressures. So if you like it hard and narrow, these won't be for you, but there are plenty of other options on the market, so don't worry if they're not for you. These are really for people who are prepared to embrace the benefits of tubeless, of low pressures and wide tyres. It's a little bit harder talking about rolling resistance and the benefits of wide tyres at low pressures. You really have to try it to believe it. No matter what I say, you really need to try it for yourself. And lots of you are trying wide tyres and low pressures and finding it works really well. The benefits outweigh any of the negatives for me personally based on the riding I do, so these work for me extremely well. The tyre is well supported at low pressure, so when you push on hard through the corners, there's no squirm, just lots and lots of juicy grip. You can really feel what the contact patch is doing underneath you, which increases your sense of control. I found myself easily breezing down descents that feel more nervous on a more conventional setup, harder and narrower, and that is a bonus when you've been on the bike for 5+ hours and you're starting the tyre. They're strong too and can handle dirt and gravel with ease, and a few potholes I've ridden into have been no problem at all. There's no feeling of flex under hard acceleration or braking, and they're very stable in blustery wind conditions as well. The speed of these wheels is not in doubt at all. Based on my experience riding hundreds of carbon wheels over the years and ride data collected on this bike with a power meter and heart rate, these are very fast wheels on all my local routes. Now, I don't have any wind tunnel testing to back that up, but hopefully some independent body will test these wheels and all rival wheel sets in the market in the future. That'd be really good to see. But based on my experience and my testing, these are clearly very fast wheels, as fast, if not faster than some rivals in this sector. So that has been my first ride on the stunning Trek Domane SLR with the latest SRAM Force group set and Zipp 303 S wheels. I'm sure this video has prompted some questions. In fact, I'm certain of it, so let me know down below what questions you have about any of this equipment or bike that I'm riding at the moment. I will do a more in-depth review on the group set. I've got something exciting planned for that, to make sure you hang around, and you can do that by hitting that subscribe button down below. It means a lot to me. It helps grow the channel, and it means I can do more exciting bike and tech reviews like this. So if you want to see more of this, make sure you subscribe and I can make it happen. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Keep safe, keep pedaling, and I'll see you all again soon.